The Watchman and the Boy. In a quiet town, nestled between hills and rivers, there stood an old building that used to be a school. It had been closed for years, but the town didn't want it torn down. Instead, they hired a watchman named Abdul, a man in his late 60s with a weathered face and kind eyes, to look after it. Every evening, Abdul would make his rounds checking each classroom, locking the rusty gates and feeding the cats that lived in the courtyard. He lived alone in a small room near the school gate and treated his job with quiet pride. One chilly November evening, while making his usual rounds, Abdul heard a faint noise coming from the old science lab. Curious, he carefully opened the door and, to his surprise, found a boy, no older than 10, sitting near a broken window. The boy stood up quickly, startled. "Two didn't break in. The window was already broken," he said, his voice trembling. Abdul looked at the boy's thin clothes and tired eyes. "What are you doing here?" he asked gently. The boy hesitated. "I live in the slums nearby. My name is Samir. It's cold outside, and this is the only place I could find to sleep." Abdul didn't scold him. Instead, he nodded slowly. "Come with me," he said. He took Samir to his small room, handed him a woolen shawl, and poured him some hot tea from the kettle. They sat in silence for a while. "You shouldn't be sleeping in an old building like this," Abdul finally said. "I have nowhere else to go. My mother died last year. My father, he drinks and hits me. I ran away," Samir whispered. The words stung Abdul more than he expected. He had a son once, to about Samir's age lost, many years ago, to an accident. Looking at the boy now felt like life was offering him a chance to care again. From that day, Samir returned every evening. Abdul never turned him away. He gave him food and warm clothes, and even started teaching him how to read and write, using the dusty old textbooks left behind in the school. Months passed. The townspeople started to notice a change in Abdul. He smiled more, he walked a little straighter, and Samironsi, quiet and afraid now, laughed freely and helped Abdul with his duties. One day, the town council visited the building to discuss its future. When they saw Samir helping the old watchman clean the yard, one of them asked, "Who is this boy?" Abdul stood proudly. "This is Samir. He's like a grandson to me now." Impressed by the bond and the change in both of them, the council decided not to shut the building down. Instead, they approved its transformation into a shelter and a night school for poor children, with Abdul as its caretaker and Samir as its first student. The building, once abandoned and forgotten, was alive again with laughter, learning, and love. And at its heart stood the watchman and the boy, two souls who had found a family in each other. Please subscribe and share and like.